What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. We gotta start off with some bad news, unfortunately. So the other day, by the time I'm recording this, I think this happened on, I want to say Wednesday. Yeah. We lost somebody in the wrestling world. We lost Daffney Unger. For those who don't know Daffney, because me and Prime talked about Daffney a lot on this show, because me and Prime watched TNA back in the day, and I remember we was talking about the Knockouts division, stuff like that, and then we was talking about this girl named Daffney. And Daffney, in my opinion, was Rosemary before Rosemary. Pretty
much. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw Rosemary, I thought that was Daffney repackaged.
Exactly. That's the same thing I thought, and I was just like, yo, this is definitely Daffney doing a Rosemary character. Then when I found out Rosemary was a whole different character, I was like, oh, what happened to Daffney? And she had some time in WCW, but she had time during that New Blood Rising era, and I was like, yeah, I did not watch. When it came to 2000, I was pretty much checked out of WCW. I remember I went back to try to check it out, and I remember seeing Blood Sting versus The Wall, and I was like, this match is terrible. First of all, do you remember The Wall from WCW?
It's The Wall. Yeah. The only thing I remember is that he wasn't he like on top of a building or something?
Yeah, but he used to come out, do tables matches and stuff. It was stupid. And do you remember Blood Sting when Vampiro gave Sting a bloodbath and he just kept the blood on him for like a month?
Yeah. That's an infamous match, yes.
Yeah, I was like that. Ugh. So, neither here or there. That was not the time I was watching Daffney. I was watching Daffney when she was in Impact Wrestling, when she was from 2008 to 2011. Well, we're bringing her up because she passed away at the age of 46. And she was not well. They have not officially confirmed this, but I'm pretty sure we know what the deal is here, because
they have confirmed this. It's confirmed.
Oh, so it's confirmed that it was suicide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I get.
Oh my God! I was watching it live. It was so. I seriously thought I was about to watch her die. It was just so weird. It's not to laugh. It's so weird.
No. I mean, I just had a nervous struggle because she had this Instagram video on Tuesday, right?
The Instagram video was on Wednesday.
So, I thought it was on Tuesday that she did it on Wednesday.
No. She went live on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Now, I didn't see the Instagram video, but they said the Instagram video. Prime did see a little bit of the Instagram video. And from what I understand about the Instagram video is that she was talking about CTE. The chronic traumatic, I can't pronounce that last word, but yeah, that.
Well, she. The only thing I remember her saying about it is that she was talking about when her brain is going, when she dies, her brain is going to the same place that Benoit's brain is going into Boston. So that's what she said.
I do. Well, yeah, they did say that she said that she wanted her brain to be studied, but the alarming thing was there was a gun that was like right next to her, right?
No, okay. Oh, see, okay. I gotta explain this story.
Yeah, you do gotta explain it to me. Explain it to me.
I was watching this. I was like, "What is going on?" I thought it was like a gimmick because I didn't know what was going on. But she was reading like suicide notes, and she had like a blanket over her, and I thought she was just like cold or something. Then like when she let the blanket go, she had a gun like to her chest.
Jeez.
So the gun was like pointed at her chest, and I guess she had the blanket over it to, I guess, cover it up. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But she just held it there, and while she's reading her suicide notes, held the gun to her chest.
Now,
saying, "I'm sorry." Huh?
Now, was this her suicide note, or was this other people's suicide notes that she was just reading?
I don't know. She was just reading suicide notes.
Uh-huh.
Like, "I'm sorry, I can't do this," and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what she was reading. Just reading suicide notes. And then, she just kind of cried for a while. Just kind of like apologizing and pleading and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it kept scaring me because, like, watching movies, you know how, like, when they do that, the phone drop?
Yeah.
Her phone kept dropping. I was like, okay, we're good. She picked it up. And then the phone dropped again. I was like, oh, okay, we're good. And then the line just cut off. And then after it cut off, everybody was like, did she die? And then more people was like, wait a minute. Did she actually die? And then that's when everybody just started like, I think she... is she okay? And that's when everybody started calling her and texting her, blowing up her phone and trying to see where she lived, to get the wellness check and all that.
Yeah.
But watching it live was weird.
I mean that's some traumatic stuff. You know what it remind me of? Remember the YouTuber Etika from a couple years ago?
No.
Okay, well there was this black YouTuber named Etika. He was very famous. He had the high top fade, and he'd do a lot of Nintendo Switch stuff and reactions. And he had a mental breakdown for like the last year, a couple months before he passed away. And he put out this video of him, because he lived in New York, and he put out this video, and it was like a suicide video. He was talking about, I apologize and I'm sorry I disobeyed your trust and stuff, and then how, he was going to kill himself. And everybody was like, yo, we gotta find out what's going on with Edgar here. Like, this video, it was posted, and I was just like, oh my god. Like, this is crazy. And I was like, this man is really, he really needs some help, or and it made the news, and they actually found him. He jumped off the bridge and left his book bag and his Nintendo Switch and his clothes on there. He jumped off the bridge and killed himself, and he was only 29 years old, and it stuck with me. It was sad. I was just like, and me and Swag on Nerdgasm did a video about that. If y'all want to go listen to it, so that's what it kind of reminded me of. And she now Daffney, she had she did talk about the CTE, because I'm reading an article here. It was saying that, in quotations, that she said the most important thing to remember is that CTE and head injuries and concussions, they can only really now be after she takes some nervous breaths, they said they can now only really be diagnosed after you're dead. So I don't want to do anything to hurt my brain. I want to be studied, she continued. I want the future generations to know, don't do stupid shit like me. CTE has been
that one is difficult though.
What?
Because it can be CTE, but I think it's just like a big. I don't think it's strictly just CTE.
I mean, I think it can. I mean, first of all, a lot of people don't want to talk about CTE, but I'm just saying, but it can be.
No, I'm saying, I think for her, I think hers was like more depression than anything. Because watching that live,
I mean, yeah, well, the CTE caused depression.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of like the Junior Seau thing. Like, if anybody watched his documentary on 30 for 30, good documentary, but CTE is not something that just says like, oh God, I'm crazy, I see demons. No, it's not like it affects the chemical imbalance in the brain. And her stuff, because Daffney injured her. It's like, okay, so if we go back to 2009, this is when Daffney was at her peak in TNA. And this is what Mick Foley was over there. And this was the TNA was actually doing all right. And he had that rivalry with Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
So he had, I don't know if this was at Bound for Glory or an Impact, because I remember Bound for Glory 2009. They had a Monsters. It was Bound for Glory. Mick Foley and Abyss had a Monsters Ball match, and they had the boards with the barbed wire attached to them, and then Abyss set up a board from the ring, from the ring apron to the guardrail. Daffney came out because Daffney at that time, remember, they had that mental institution.
It was Daffney and Stevie Richards.
Definitely Dr. Stevie. Yeah, that's supposed to be, helping Abyss out. So she was with Abyss. And I don't know if this was when Abyss turned on her. And I think it had to be, because...
Not turned on her, but he kind of turned on both of them, because they was secretly manipulating him.
Exactly, yeah. So she took a bump that Mick Foley, if you guys watch the behind the scenes of that DVD, which I still got the Bound for Glory DVD, was going back and checking on her, make sure she was okay, because she took a choke slam off the top rope through that board. And it's probably still on YouTube, stuff like that. It's not a gruesome spot, because everybody was like, "Oh my God, did she hurt her arm? She break her arm?" And I remember watching the DVD that Mick Foley went back there and checked on her and said, "Yo, you are a crazy woman for taking a spot like that." But at that time, women in women's wrestling really wasn't taking no spots like that. Not in 2008. Now, once again, you did have Candice LeRae come out here doing stupid shit later on. But I mean, Daffney was like taking spots, and there was a time also but what happened was, I'm getting ahead of myself. What happened was, everybody knows she hurt her arm. In reality, she had a very bad concussion from that spot.
Mm-hmm.
A very bad concussion. So, after she so-called recovered, she came back and had another, I don't know if it was a Lady Monsters Ball match or she had a hardcore match. I forgot who it was with. And I remember there was this toolbox that was there. And this girl took this toolbox, I'm talking about one of them steel red toolboxes, and hit it square in the head to Daffney, unprotected. And I remember she took that spot, and obviously, I believe she lost the match anyway. So it was like that didn't look good, and I think she suffered another concussion from there. So a lot of these football players, a lot of these wrestlers, hockey players, or anybody that has a contact sport that deals with the CTE, this has been a big problem in sports, and it continues to get bigger because this thing is causing a lot of these deaths, these suicidal thoughts, this depression of things that these people unfortunately cannot get out of. And when you're dealing with, because my sister works in this field, and depression is dealt with a chemical imbalance of the brain. Like, there's people that are in such of a deep depression that they have to take a certain medicine to help try to balance the chemicals in the brain. Because my sister went through depression. I'm talking about chronic depression. There's different levels of depression. Everybody gets depressed. Everybody has a level of depression. Everybody goes through a grief period, or whatever the case may be in their life. But there's some people that just get so deep and it gets so dark that this kind of things happen. And I remember after all that stuff happened with Daffney in those matches, I didn't see Daffney anymore. That's why with me and Prime thought that when Rosemary came, that was a repackage of Daffney.
Mm-hmm.
But then that wasn't Daffney, that was Rosemary. I was like, so I remember asking myself, yo, where the hell is Daffney? And I would hear her name here and there, but I didn't see her on like Shimmer or Pro Wrestling Eve or any of the kind of women's wrestling type things. But it's after hearing that news, I was like, oh my god, this is sad. And then once again, Junior Seau from the Patriots and the Chargers shot himself in the heart because they wanted him to examine the brain, because they know that they're fucked up. But the thing is, they know it to the point that they can't get out of it. And there's not been enough study or stuff like that on CTE. There have been other things to try to help prevent concussion. Like now, professional wrestling and football have tried to do different things, like different rules that you can't do helmet to helmet hits anymore in football.
Mm-hmm.
And in professional wrestling, there is no more headshots with steel chairs. And if it is, it's a very light headshot. But there is no more unprotected. Because what was that Japanese guy from ECW? He should take them chair shots like crazy.
Mike Awesome versus Nagata. No, not Nagata. Give me a second.
Because he will go against him, or he will take an unprotected chair shot from Balls Mahoney.
Tanaka.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yo. Or how Ken
He still
Shamrock
do that to this day. Like he still does that. He still takes that.
Yeah, that's stupid. How remember Ken Shamrock had the unprotected steel shot from The Rock?
Mm-hmm.
That was dumb. I remember that. Or how Matt Hardy hit the shit out of Brock Lesnar with that steel chair.
He didn't do that for real, because you did not want to crack the back of Brock Lesnar's head open for real. So he definitely meant that was definitely an accident.
Exactly. I'm saying, but even with the velocity of an unprotected chair shot, it's still, the chair got weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestlers are strong, yes, stuff like that, but just to take the impact of swinging the chair, it's hard to pull that. When I have a folding chair right outside my room, and when I be sitting there trying to swing, I'm like, yo, you can't. It's hard to pull this stuff, kind of like how Undertaker hit Maven in the head with it. And you just hear that pow, hear that dent, and I'm like, that was so unprotected. Even shrugging your shoulders, you can't protect a shot like that. There was headaches and stuff like that. And Daffney was one of those women who did a lot of hardcore wrestling that took a lot of shots in the head, unfortunately. And it just sucks. It really sucks that this woman's life came to an end like this, and we couldn't save her. Mm-hmm. And there needs to be something that it needs to be done about the CTE, and because you can't. I mean, they're doing things now to try to prevent the level of concussion, stuff like that, but there's no help for these people. Like I said, they're still trying to study the stuff from the brain. They're still trying to have all kinds of things, but there really is no help for these people, and that's the sad part. That's the thing they were trying to talk about. What Wilson was doing, the movie Concussion. That's what they were trying to talk about. There have been so many deaths and suicides from this disease in the brain, and it's like, we gotta find a way to combat this or help these people that are suffering from this, because it's a dark place to go to want to end your life. You only have one life. This ain't about, I'm not coming on here talking about what you believe or what you don't believe or anything like that. I'm talking about the facts, and the cold hard facts are saying you have one life. There is no respawning, and for the young age of 46 years old, that is a serious dark place that you want to take yourself. And then first of all, put it on Instagram, and I'm saying the trauma alone from even just watch a little bit of that Prime. Like, sometimes people may be desensitized to that kind of crap because it happens, but it's like, you almost feel powerless because you don't even know how to help, but you want to help. You want to tell people that everything is going to be okay, or I can help you, or the case may be, and you just cannot get to them. That's how I felt when I was watching the etiquette video. I felt so bad. I was like, yo, bro, I want to just go to New York right now, hug you, and be like, yo, bro, everything is going to be okay. But they're in such a dark place, and it's hard to get out of. And I think the movie Soul, I don't know if you've seen Soul or not.
Mm-hmm.
They did a very good job describing how that is, of how the souls get caught up in this whirlwind of, and they're like an evil monster because they're trapped inside their mind of all these negative thoughts. I was like, yo, my God, this must be what a suicide person's head is looking like right now. And I thought that was a well done thing. So I want to hear your thoughts, basically, about how you feel about what happened to Daffney, especially with you actually seeing the video.
Yeah, no, it's just a sad thing because, like, I went to sleep thinking, because I went to sleep thinking that, okay, it's gonna be all right. I'm pretty sure because last time something like that happened, at least in the wrestling world, was Hana Kimura, where she like posted. She only posted, she ain't go live, but she was like posting stuff with her arms getting cut up and like saying like, I'm sorry, I can't do this and all that. And then we didn't hear nothing. So it was like, okay. Then it was like word that somebody got there in time. So then it was like, okay, she's safe. But then it turned out she died. And it was like, people can. Hers was like people bullying her, but like she had the same issue of posting it. And then people got in the public eye. And everybody's like blowing her phone up and all that. And it was too late. So I was like, okay, maybe this time they won't be too late and things will happen. Especially since she's on live. I don't know, but it's like it looked like she tried to like attempt to do it on live.
See, I'm kind of glad she didn't, man, because
no, I think she tried to, but like they cut it off. I don't know, whoever's at Instagram got contacted about this issue and they cut it off. Yeah.
I mean, so the way it was going, or the way you're explaining it to me, or how I'm reading an article, it did sound like that she probably wanted to kill herself on Instagram Live.
Oh, she did. It was not. That's probably why she had the cover. Because I was like, why does she have a cover? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're gonna do that, why do you care about if you're cold or hot and put a cover over you? So I was like, maybe she's trying to do that, I guess, to cover when she do it. Is what I thought. That's the only reason you would have a blanket over you and have a gun to your chest under the blanket.
Wow.
But yeah, no, that's sad.
It is sad. It's unfortunate, man. I am glad that she did not do that on the live, because the trauma that we are just go through in a society or a culture, we are starting to get numb to shit like this, and that should not be. We should not be numb to seeing trauma unfold in front of our very eyes. And it's like, we have just lived through so many historical events within the past year. So, and sometimes people are just getting subjected to this trauma, but I was like, I'm glad she didn't, because it would have fucked up a lot of people seeing her kill herself on Instagram and it being live like that. And then you see a dead body on the camera. Like, no, that right there. I'm sorry, man, because I wouldn't be able to handle it, and I would be upset, but I wouldn't be able to, process that and everything, and it just, it really sucks. My condolences go out to her family. May God heal her soul. That's how I feel. May she find peace. But it was so heartbreaking hearing that news, especially me being a fan of Daffney. And a lot of people, if you're not like really into wrestling, or you just watch WWE, you're not gonna know who Daffney is. But me and Prime both watched TNA, especially at the TNA's peak time. That 2007 through 2009 was TNA's best years. Would you agree?
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah, I think 2007 through 2009 were TNA's best years. Then 2010 was like, oh, there go that Bischoff and Hogan shit. And
even though 2005 and 6 were good too.
Say what?
2005 and 6 were good too, though.
They were good too. They were good, but the thing about that is, I'm saying, but when the eye on TNA, like we start getting cable deals and video games and DVDs, and it started getting notoriety, was when Kurt Angle came.
Mm-hmm.
And he set that market on fire, and I was just like, and then Booker T came, and it was just like, yeah, so we getting big names over here on Impact as well. So, yeah, but rest in peace, Daffney. You know, may God find you the peace, because it's very ashamed that this had to happen to you, or have happened to anybody that is struggling out there. And if we can offer help through our voice, or let's listen to talk on this podcast and we making you laugh, or if we need a hotline, I will make sure I try to find a hotline to put into the podcast description, or whatever I have to do to know that there's somebody that you can talk to. There's always somebody out there who wants to be there for you.